friends, and welcome to the first day of our new unit on sea life. We're going to do a great unit. Sea life is a fascinating subject. You might say, Dr. Kuma, I don't know anything about sea life. But we do know certain things. Sea creatures are living things. And before the school shut down, we discussed what living things need in order to survive. We said they need air, they need food, water, and a place to live. We're going to apply those same characteristics to sea life. So let's take a look at our first anchor chart. We're going to say, how do fish breathe underwater? We're going to learn that this week. How do other sea life breathe underwater? We're going to learn that also. Next week, we're going to talk about what habitats are there in the ocean, diets, what do different sea creatures eat, and on the last week, we're going to talk about special characteristics of certain sea life. So today, we're going to focus on what fish need in order to breathe underwater. So let's look at the first anchor chart. Okay, this is a picture of us. Well, not particularly us, just kind of representation of us. We take in oxygen through our nose and mouth. It goes down our windpipe or trachea into our lungs. Our lungs are like two balloons inside our body that expand and go in. Okay? So when we breathe out, it goes through the trachea, but oxygen doesn't come out. Carbon dioxide comes out, which is not good for us. That's why we have carbon dioxide detectors in our home, because we cannot breathe it in. That's why we breathe it out. Fish, in a similar manner, breathe in oxygen. It's in the water, there's oxygen. So when you see fish go like this, they're not gulping in water, they're gulping in oxygen, because oxygen is in the water. They gulp it in, and it goes through these slits on the side of their body called gills. Can we say gills, friend? Gills. And once the oxygen goes through the gills, it's carbon dioxide, and they don't need it either. So that's why they push it out through their gills. So we breathe with our lungs. Fish breathe with their gills. And today I'm going to read you a fascinating book. Excuse me. It's about what's it like to be a fish. It's a great book with wonderful illustrations, and it will tell you exactly how fish breathe. So stick around and listen to me read this book. Also, there's an activity to go with this book on the hyperlink that I sent your parents. So sit back and relax and listen to a wonderful book. Today's book is called What's It Like to Be a Fish? And it's not just a title, it's a question, because it has a question mark at the end. So when you see that symbol, that's the question mark, and that means you want someone to answer you and give you information. Also, this right here is called an apostrophe. Apostrophe is like when you have two words and you want to make it into one word. And when you take two words and you make it into one word, that's called a contraction. But that's for later, friends. This book is written by Wendy Pfeiffer, illustrated by Holly Keller. Wendy is the author, so she wrote the words, and Holly is the illustrator, so she drew the pictures. How many words are in this title? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a very long title, friends. This is the front cover of the book. This is the back cover of the book. And this is the spine that holds the book together. Let's read. We have another title page. A title page. So let's begin. Fish live in water, in lakes, ponds. So we have various fish swimming around. Aquariums, and even in plastic bags. Your pet goldfish can live in a bowl. You can watch the golden fish slip over and under the castle, hide among the water plants, and glide quietly around in their underwater world. Now, these are types of goldfish. You have like the common goldfish. This is called a calico goldfish, and this is another type of common goldfish. A fish's body is just right for living underwater, just as your body is right for living on land. You can swim, but a fish can swim better. A fish's sleek body, that means smooth, is the perfect shape for swimming. Fins stick out from the fish's body. They help the fish to swim. A goldfish tail fin pushes it through the water. Six other fins steady, steer, and stop it. So this is the goldfish's tail, which it pushes it through the water, and the other fins stop and steer. When fish swim, they swim their tails fins back and forth and wave their other fins. They look as though they're flying through the water. If you watch your goldfish, you'll see that they open and close their mouths all day and all night. They look as if they're drinking water, but they're not. They're breathing. Okay, remember I told you about how they open and close their mouth. They're breathing. They're taking in oxygen. So let's look at, they give an example of how we breathe. Kind of like the illustration that I did the other day. You breathe all day and all night too, but you can't breathe underwater the way fish do. Fish breathe with their gills. You breathe with your lungs. You breathe in. Air goes to lungs inside your body. Your body takes the oxygen that you need from the air. Then you breathe out the parts of the air that you don't. Remember, when you breathe in the oxygen. When you breathe out carbon dioxide. Remember I told you that. Carbon dioxide is something we don't need. Fish need oxygen too. There is oxygen in water, just as there is oxygen in air. A goldfish opens its mouth and lets some water in. When the fish closes its mouth, the water flows over the gills inside its body. The fish's body takes the oxygen it needs from the water after passing over the gills. The water leaves the fish's body through gill openings, gill slits, friends. For a goldfish, opening and closing its mouth is just like breathing in and out. Okay? These are various types of fish breathing. This is like a black goldfish. That's a veiled tail, a comet. Fish need food just as you do, but they eat underwater. At feeding time, watch your goldfish flip their tails. They race to the top of the bowl, snap at their food, and gulp it down. They need only a tiny pinch of fish flakes each day. Good fish flakes are a mixture of ground up flies, fish, shrimp, crab, oats, corn, carrots, and vitamins. I bet you didn't know that fish flakes had flies in them. That's quite interesting. Fish in the wild do not have someone to feed them. every day. Many fish eat tiny plants and animals, so small that you need a microscope to see them. Bigger fish feed on worms, crabs, shrimp, and other fish. Usually big fish eat medium-sized fish, and medium-sized fish eat small fish. This is part of what we call the food chain. So the food chain is like, just like they said, friends, a big fish will eat a medium-sized fish, then a medium-sized fish will eat a small fish. Fish are cold-blooded. This means that their body temperature matches the temperature of the water around them. So whatever the water temperature is, that's what the fish's temperature is, friends. Be sure to place your goldfish bowl in a spot where the temperature will stay a steady 65 to 72 degrees. This is the temperature fish need to be healthy. Okay? Remember, we talked about fish are cold-blooded, but we also talked about sea creatures that are mammals. And so we are mammals, friends. You are warm-blooded because we're mammals. When you are healthy, your body temperature is about 98.6 degrees. Your body stays this temperature by itself, whether it's air around it is cold or hot. So in the wintertime, your body temperature is 98.6. In the summertime, your body temperature is 98.6. Page sticking together. Sometimes goldfish switch their tails and zip around the bowl. Other times they look as if they've stopped moving, but they haven't. Their fins are always moving, even when they rest. Fish don't sleep as you do. They rest by moving very, very slowly. Fish's eyes are always open. They have no eyelids, so their eyes stay open even when they rest. Isn't that interesting, friends? They don't have any eyelids. Did you know that? Fish don't need eyelids, as you do. They don't need tears either. The water keeps their eyes washed. There is usually not enough light under the water to bother fish's eyes. Be sure not to put your goldfish in the sun because it might make it too bright for them. So, fish really don't need eyelids because they're so deep in the water, the sun doesn't affect their sunlight does not affect them. Oh, pages, please don't stick. Okay. Look at this one. You have a little fish bowl. Okay. With a sleek body, fins and scales, slime and gills, a fish lives in, let me read that again, friends. With a sleek body, fins, scales, slime, and gills, a fish lives as naturally underwater as you do on land. Goldfish swim, breathe, eat, and rest in water. They slip over and under their castles, hide among water plants, and glide quietly around in their underwater world. Okay, so the fish, even though they're in the fish bowl, they do the same. They glide quietly in their underwater world, just as the fish in the wild do. And that's the end of the story. So I hope you learned how fish breathe underwater. They use gills. They take the oxygen out of the water as we take the oxygen out of the air. So I hope you loved the story. It was a great story, very informative. I learned so much. Like fish don't have eyelids, right? Like we do. So I've sent a project to do with this book. It's in the remote learning plan that I sent your parents. It's how to make a fish. So have your parents click on the hyperlink and it will give you the directions. Hi friends, I'm in the remote learning plan. For the first week, I'm going to help you navigate the plan. I tried to make it simple, but after that, I'm quite sure you'll get the hang of it. Today, I introduced Aquatic Life in an anchor chart in a video. So you should receive that video via YouTube. I also put a hyperlink in and how do fish breathe to explain the content to children. I did a read aloud today also in a YouTube video called What's It Like to Be a Fish? But for this video, I'm focusing on the morning activity. Now we have an account with Bookflix, and we have a username and password in the actual document. In the actual document, you will see that. So when you go to Bookflix, you type in the username and password, and it will take you to the Bookflix account that we have. You can watch the tutorial, and it's quite informative. But for me, I'm going to skip it.
Click on a category. Or click on the feature to begin.
We're going to click on Animals in Nature.
Animals in Nature.
There are several books on there about animals, aquatic life. There's one called The Great White Man-Eating Shark, which the website reads to the children. Then there's also a book called A Shark Pup Grows Up, which you have to read to the children. And there's another book called Peanut Butter and Jellyfish, which is read to the children. And another book you have to read to the children. Which each book there's activities if you want to do more activities with your child. But for this purposes, I'm just showing you the website. So I'm going to go back to the remote learning plan. And one of the activities they had was a song. So I made a hyperlink. If you click on the hyperlink, it will take you to the website. And there's a song. Let's do it. And in that song, the children learn a song where they name certain sea life. So it's a nice song where they can get to start naming the sea life. So let's go back to the remote learning plan. And today's activities is how to make a paper plate fish. So all you need is a paper plate and some markers and some glue. But let's say you say, I don't have any paper plates. You don't have to use paper plates. You can use white paper. Have them color the paper. Have them paint the paper. You can make accommodations to this activity. So I have paper plates, but I'm going to keep my paper plates for eating. And I'm going to make an accommodation and use construction paper. So in the next part of this video, you're going to see how I made a paper plate fish. I hope you enjoy it. Hi friends. Okay, for the paper plate fish craft, like I said, I didn't use a paper plate. I just used some construction paper. I drew a circle, and then I made sure I put a triangle in there, because you're going to cut that part out, and that's going to be the fish's tail. And when you cut it out, it will make a mouth for the fish. Then you can have your child either color in with crayons or paint, whatever they want, and then they can make this. Here's the end result. Right? I painted mine orange, and I made gill slits because that was the big thing we were focusing on, gills. And I put on a googly eye. Now you don't have to have a googly eye. You can have your child draw it in with a marker or crayon. So this is like a simple craft. Like you either do it with a paper plate or construction paper. It was fun. I hope you had a great time doing this craft.